the key to keeping a graphic design industry, or graphic design sort of business moving forward as kind of time progresses. So let's skip ahead. This was, I put this shot up because this is one of the worst photo shoots I ever had to do. There was this cute little Asian boy who was our model who would not behave. He just had to get on the floor and play with his cars. And we were there trying to get him to do it. I actually was down on the floor playing with him, and nothing happened. And all of a sudden the phone rang, and you could hear through the phone his mother screaming at him in Korean. And then he got on the floor and he played really well. So it's, it was fun. Right. So now, Octane Design. Octane Design is, I think if you skip by the cheat sheet here, the next one more down. Yeah. We're a graphic and interactive design firm located in Rilo. Skip one more, maybe. There we go. So, the very brief history, myself and Bill Bowen, who was a friend of mine that I met at the publications company, we purchased the company. So this is a little bit different from starting from scratch. Bill was already the arts director at Creative Perceptions, which was an offshoot company for a company that did 3D sort of animations for builders. And what they decided was all these builders kind of also needed some marketing materials. So they started another company, had Bill kind of running it, and they were really hands-off. So what we did is we came in, I did some freelance work for Bill when I moved back from Chicago, and we approached the owners because they were moving to Florida. They wanted to sell the business. We met with some of the people they wanted to sell it to and decided we'd rather buy it instead. They have 27 .NET developers, so they can do a lot of the big programming jobs that we do. 20 people working for us. We decided to keep it small because we're not that good at managing people. We're good at design. And what we can do is sort of use these outside vendors to kind of help us on a need or case-by-case basis. So what we do is website architecture, design and development, interactive and print collateral design, print and online advertising, publication design and production, logo and corporate. So we do all that good stuff. We make you guys look good, is kind of what it boils down to. So I pulled up just some samples of work we can go through quickly, and then I'll talk a little bit more about sort of the lessons we've learned. So we can skip through. We do a lot of work with DMCVB here in Detroit, the Detroit Metro Convention and Visitors Bureau. We've worked with them longer than Octane Design has been Octane Design. We started working with them back in 1998, even before I was back here in Michigan. Bill started working with them. What we do now is we do the Visit Detroit magazine, we did the Visit Detroit website, the Meet Detroit website, we do work for the Detroit Sports Commission, we did the Detroit Film Commission site when it was around before the new governor decided that there was no more filming in Detroit. And we've now been charged with doing tons of print pieces, web pieces to support them pretty much across the board. We aren't their agency of record, but they don't really have an agency of record anymore. We're pretty much in charge of most of their corporate communications. So the Visit Detroit magazine is something we do twice a year. We hire photographers, hire writers, and kind of produce the whole thing, start to finish. You can go ahead. VisitDetroit.com, the website, which just relaunched this week. It's been redesigned. And something that we've done with them is kind of sat down as a strategic partner and figured out that splitting the websites into this VisitDetroit.com and the next slide, which is MeetDetroit.com, because there were two real core audiences here in Detroit that were coming here. Some are coming for a visit, and some are coming to meet. So this is for meeting planners, for business people, for conventioneers. The previous site is more for out-of-town visitors that are coming on a case-by-case basis. So another huge client of ours is the Henry Ford. We've been doing a lot of work with them. Just launched the website for the new Driving America exhibit. If you haven't been down there, you should get down there. It's really cool. Lots of cool cars. But what's really exciting about this too is just incorporating a lot of user feedback and content. You can go on the website, go on the blog, and you can submit your first car story. And it generates a lot of content. We've got images, stories, photos from people all over the country that are coming here to tell their first car story, because people are pretty passionate about cars. Another shot, go ahead. And then we've done some other things with the Henry Ford, interactive pieces. Skip ahead, I'm just going to get through this. Interactive maps that you'll see at the actual museum. And recently we redid their magazine. So this is their print publication every year, goes out to their members, goes out to the community. And now what we're doing is turning this into an iPad application as well, so it'll be interactive. And what they're really trying to do is put more content in here and become a little bit more like the Smithsonian magazine, where there are feature stories and exciting things that are happening in the community to help promote the community, the area around the Henry Ford, and not just the Henry Ford itself. So here's some more shots from the magazine. And then we've worked with Meadowbrook Hall, their websites, kind of helping promote them. And we've been doing some work. This is a pretty fun website we just put together. Health insurance doesn't cover it, just an informational website for an insurance company that I can't name down here in Detroit. That kind of gives information on health insurance for supplemental insurance that you necessarily wouldn't think about. This is a really fun project too. There's a lot of really cool stop motion animation we've done, and it kind of taught us some lessons about budgeting our time and budgeting for projects that we've never done before, which is always kind of a tricky thing to get into. Some work we've done with downtown Ferndale. You can just skip ahead. Conti, icons. EI Global. And one more, I think we're done. Okay, so the lessons that we've learned along the way, I've kind of put a couple of bullet points here together that I thought would be helpful for everybody who's starting a business or running a business. The biggest one we've learned is to manage your cash flow. This is a tricky one to handle, but some things that we've done are just, the key thing is determining your true billing rates. Some people will just throw out a number and decide, okay, I'm going to bill $50 an hour, or I'm going to bill $45 an hour as an arbitrary rate. What you need to do is sit down, figure out your expenses, figure out everything that you're going to have to pay for that month, and then assign a percentage profit that you want to make above and beyond that, and start there as a good hourly billing rate. What we found though is sometimes that's not high enough. What you can do is just sort of figure out what the market will bear. And sad to say, we have lost jobs because we bid too low, where people don't think we're serious, and we've also lost jobs where we're too high. And I tell you what, I'd rather lose the jobs where we're too high, because then it gives us some good feedback. What we generally try to do is put together a proposal. Excuse me. We use time tracking software within the office. So what we can do is figure out how many hours we've spent on a website, and figure that the new website we're doing is typical or similar to the last website we did. So we'll say, okay, we spent about 150 hours on this website. This will be about 150 hours. Apply our hourly rate, give the client the estimate, and kind of move on from there. But to really manage your cash flow, you can't stop there. What we found, and we learned this the hard way, is you need to bill a chunk and get a chunk up front. Otherwise, you're stuck being a bank for your clients, and that's not the position you want to be in unless you are a bank. So this is something we learned, like I said, the hard way. We've thankfully, and knock on wood, it's been 13 years, we've never had to take a loan out from the bank. We've always just been able to fund it ourselves through clients, through keeping our staff small, and through billing jobs appropriately. So this has worked for us. It probably is not going to work for everybody, but it's a system that you need to figure out for your specific business and how to make it work. Grow your business smartly. Like I said, you can see after 13 years, we're still pretty small. We've done this on purpose, where we have not added people where they were not needed. We did have a full-time programmer at one time. Our business adjusted accordingly, where we were trying to get more programming jobs, trying to fill that void. Now he's left and he's freelancing. It's actually working out better for both of us. He's probably making more money not working for me, getting jobs from us and from other clients, and we're able to pay him on a case-by-case basis, and it's better for our business. So just use freelancers, build up a network. That's one of the things we really did. We networked a ton at the beginning, found a lot of like people in the industry, found a lot of programmers, photographers, writers, designers, people that want to work with you, and it's enabled us to kind of keep our business small and keep it smart. Manage projects effectively. This one kind of slips through the cracks sometimes, that an unwieldy project will come in and tie up the entire staff. And I'm sure this applies across the board to all types of businesses, where if a project gets out of hand and it's not managed correctly, it's really going to deplete your resources. What we do is we use a piece of software called Basecamp to kind of help manage everything in one place. It's a software by service. It's pretty inexpensive, $30 a month, I think it is. And what you can do is track emails, track files, track to-do lists, set up schedules, and it has it all in one place. So you're not searching through your email 10 different threads to try and find out when the next copy is due. and it keeps everything in one place and kind of handles it really nicely for you. So it's a good piece of software. It's not the be-all, end-all. I'm sure there are other types of software like this, but this is one thing that we found has been really effective for us. Here's a good lesson, Fireback clients. We've done this a couple times. At the beginning, it seems like every client is a good client. It's like, oh, they're paying us, this is great. But what you find out is some clients take more resources than you are willing to give or than you should be giving. We've had experiences where we were billing a lower the hourly rate to a client and he questioned every single invoice. He was just generally unpleasant to deal with. And at the end of the day, we decided it wasn't worth it. It wasn't worth that money to our sanity. Because what we want to do is make sure that the experience is enjoyable. Because you have to go to this job. You see these people at the office more than you see your family sometimes. So you want that experience to be really good. Create strong relationships. As I mentioned, we have a long-standing relationship with the DMCDB, with the Henry Ford, with John Deere Landscapes, with a lot of our clients. We're the type of company who has really strived to get into good relationships with clients because we find that's where the best business gets done. The first couple of projects are like dating. You get to know the clients, not really sure what they like and don't like, kind of feeling out things, and it's like, okay, you don't really know where you stand. After a year working with them, you can offer them things that no one else can. You get into that relationship with them. We have such a strong relationship with the DMCDB, with the Henry Ford, with these other people, that they now really rely on us for a lot of, their strategic ideas. But like the last speaker mentioned, don't tie up all your assets in one, in one company. We were in danger of doing that with the DMCDB. They were our hugest client. They were, nearly 50% of our revenue, and we decided, we've got to get out and diversify. And so we've made sure we've done that as well. So if they decided to walk away tomorrow, we would still be okay. So, but I found that, and this is a lesson I learned from Mike McMillan, the last person I worked for, is he really had strong relationships with all of his clients, and I could just see that they enjoyed working together, and we were doing really good work for them. And it's not the same kind of work you can do for a client the first time around. It gets better and better every time. Another lesson we've learned is implement strong processes. And I think I've actually got some slides for this. If you click down, yeah, you can't read this, but this is something. This is kind of what we do. This is how we work on a website. So we have a kickoff meeting with the client. What's that? No Zoom. I'll just talk through it. We define kind of what the process is going to be. We design comps. We refine those comps. We develop the website, programming, copywriting. We deploy the website, test it out, debug it, and then we launch it. If you skip down, I can kind of show you a little bit. So this is kind of some artifacts from our business, a site map. Before we do anything else on the site map, we plan everything out and figure out where everything's going to go. Wireframes take it a step further and just show every single page of what's going to be on there, but they don't actually look like the design. They're showing you kind of like a framework. And then typically what we do is, give the client a bunch of different options. This is a website for a medical manufacturing company out in Brighton that we sort of did some different ideas of how their website would look.
Do you know who they are?
Pardon me?
Do you know who they are, the manufacturer?
Yeah, Centurion Design, Centurion Medical. Here's a print process, which you can see is pretty similar. So a completely different type of job, but it's a similar process as it goes through the studio. We kick off, we define, we design, refine, develop. In the case of develop, it's print production, rough proofs, all that kind of stuff.